Good evening, Vietnam. It's your boy 25. Sports Reports is ordered. Give me a few minutes of your time, please. So, I wanted to talk a little bit about this thing coming up in 2024, the 12-team college football playoff. What does it mean? I don't know what it means just yet. So, there's the debate going on that it's just going to be more of the same. The SEC is going to dominate. We're just inviting more teams to the slaughter, if you will. And this is where I have this problem, right? Because when I look at the NBA, for example, when you include the play in, 20 out of 30 teams make the playoffs. That's 66% of the league. In the NFL, you get 14 out of 30, just slightly under 50%. NHL, 16 out of 30. So I'm sorry, NFL is 14 out of 32. I'm looking at this and like all these teams make the playoffs. This high percentage of the league makes the playoffs. Whereas in college football, we had the BCS, which I criticized at the time, grew to love because I wish that we used the BCS as a part of the selection process now. But we were selecting 4 out of 130 teams. Now that we have 133 or so starting this season, and then Kennesaw State will be coming in soon, we're going to have 12 out of that number. So the beauty of sports is that everybody starts the season with a chance to win. Just like when you look at March Madness, we end up at 68 out of 363. Still a better percentage than college football, but 68 teams, each team comes in with a chance and opportunity to win the national title. We saw the Final Four this year that everybody hated, that had San Diego State, that had FAU. You had Miami, who is a big school, but just normally not a basketball school. All played for the Final Four. 2-5 enjoyed it. The rest of America did not. You love Cinderella until Cinderella makes it just a little bit too far. First weekend, give me the Valparaiso over Ole Miss, all that good stuff. And then when you get to the Sweet 16, you want your Kansas, you want your Duke, you want your Kentucky, right? So college football is the one sport that we don't want Cinderella at all. Now, let's take a look back a few years ago, right? If Cincinnati would have beat Alabama, people would have lost their minds. They would have talked about how put them in the SEC every week. I bet you they wouldn't survive. Oh, they just got lucky. They had a month to prepare, blah, 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 blah. So now that we get to this 12-team playoff, you got Notre Dame is always the outlier since they don't play in a conference. You're going to have your highest rated G5 in the tournament, if you will, playing against the 5 seed because their team is always probably going to be number 12. But there lies in the problem, right? So out of a 12-team tournament, potentially Notre Dame involved, and then you got your highest G5. So that's potentially 2 slots. That leaves 10, right? So we're probably looking at 4 SEC schools, 2 Big Ten, 2 ACC in a good year, 2 Big 12 maybe in a good year, and then you got 1 extra team that's going to come from somewhere. So probably another Big 10 team. So you're going to end up at the same place where the SEC is going to get more teams in than everybody else. And then what? They're going to win. And then people are going to say, see, told you the SEC is the best, which it absolutely is. My hope is that more teams come in, especially with the transfer portal now, more teams come in with the hope of winning. Like, maybe somebody gets a Caleb Williams type and they can come in, do some damage, win some playoff games. Even if they don't win the national title, they knock off some favorites and we get something that resembles parity to where it opens up a floodgate for new recruits to go to these other schools. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. That's just my hope, But as we get closer to the 12-team playoff, for the first couple of years, I expect the SEC to dominate as they have been doing. But what happens that first year that a non-SEC, non-Ohio State, non-Clemson team wins the title? Let me know your thoughts, because I truly would love to know. 2-5 out. Love you, America. See you on Thursday. Sports Reports is ordered coming at you tonight in a few minutes.